on everyone's mind. I was talking about gumbo this weekend.
I would love
a big theme.
some gumbo, but it's hot outside.
I know, it's so hot. I want to get baking too, but it heats up my whole house when I bake. So we got to wait a little longer. Not sure exactly how long, but definitely not this week for any kind of fall weather. So our temperature right now, 81 in New Orleans. Looking ahead, we do expect our summer feel to just continue. No sign of fall weather this week. Unfortunately, last week at this time, we were talking about a break in humidity that was coming up on Monday. Now, this week on Sunday, looking ahead to Monday, I do not have that good news. It looks like we'll have a lot of summery kind of sun and heat all through the week, but you may have noticed, of course, the break in humidity. It's not quite as muggy as it is typically during the summer. We're also looking for a continuation of our mainly dry spell, only the slimmest of rain chances this week. So if you've been looking for that rain for your garden and yard and things like that, we just don't have a lot of it on the way. And in the tropics, there is one solar wave way out there that might develop this week, probably toward the end of the week or this upcoming weekend. This one might curve out over the Atlantic. At this point, it looks like zero threat for us. So continuing with good news in the tropics, especially for the Gulf and the Gulf Coast. Temperatures right now in the 70s to lower 80s. We'll cover all that as we get into the rest of our forecast. Our satellite and radar super quiet today. We did have a surface high pressure area right over our coast. And tonight we're looking for mostly clear conditions. And again, a fairly nice feel for those of you on the North Shore. If you're up early, not too humid, and those temperatures in the 60s. So at least you are getting at some points in the day that feel of summer. But the afternoon still hot. South of the lake, we'll look for temperatures in the 70s to begin the day, and then high temperatures around 93 or so. So that warm up happens fast. Yesterday we hit 96, 2 degrees away from a daily record high for yesterday's date. Today we hit 93, and it looks like a similar range as we get through the rest of the week. Tomorrow, noon, 88 or so. That's actually our average high at this point in the year, but then we continue to heat up the rest of the afternoon with our high tomorrow again in the lower 90s, and you can see on Precision Cast just not a lot of rain to speak of because of a big high pressure area, which I'll show you in a second. But just to show you, not a lot of rain tomorrow and really not much expected most of this week ahead. We've been under the influence of this high, especially this one off to our north with an upper low here kind of scooting off to the north. What we'll see through the middle and end of this upcoming week is a few subtle changes. The high starting to build off a little bit farther and get moved off to the southwest. But really, we continue with a fairly steady pattern without a lot of change, even though a few things are starting to move around. So our high temperatures this week continuing lower 90s. Hot, but not excessively humid like we've been saying. Dew point temperatures way into the 70s. That's a measure of humidity that's very summer-like. When it drops into the 60s, like what we've seen the past couple days and what we're expecting this week, that's not quite at summer levels, but it's also not really fall-like feeling exactly. You need to get to 50s and below for those dew point temperatures to really start to feel that fall feel. Not coming up this week, it looks like. In the tropics, here's that one wave. It is clearly very messy. It's not really looking very organized at all at this point. Only a low chance of developing in the next couple days, but in the next 7 days, the National Hurricane Center has brought that chance of development up. And look at its potential area of formation. It's all pretty much out to the north as opposed to charging into the Caribbean islands around a big high here. So just to show you one model, take it with a grain of salt. We're looking way out in time here, but we've seen these storms curving off to the north, staying out at sea. We'll see if this one eventually gets close to Bermuda, but this would be a trend that we've seen this season, and last season we actually saw it a good bit too. So by next Tuesday, we'll be tracking this. So it'll be a long time. We'll keep you updated on it. Could it become Gabrielle? Possibly, but it also looks like it's going to take some time to develop if it does, and again, hopefully stay out over the ocean. So for us, no threats at this point. 7-day forecast shows the heat, not bad for mornings and evenings though, so those would be good times to get outside. Lots of sunshine, very slight chance of rain perhaps entering the forecast by next weekend.